Hey, comic lovers. EMoney, the old man, and Thor the Dog of Thunder here with you again.
This knucklehead.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. All right, so what's been going on with Thor this week? Well, I took him out for his walk the other day, and he was really good. We came to the dog park area, which is McNeely. It's basically a fenced-in area for the dogs to run around, and we saw a lady with her Great Pyrenees out there. And I wasn't going to take Thor inside just yet. Hopefully one day we'll be able to do that. But I took him to the fence line, out to where the dog and the lady were, and the lady was really friendly. And the Great Pyrenees, his name was Eddie, I learned later. Eddie came up to the fence, and Thor
ate him.
No, Thor gave a bark, and I wasn't sure, so I pulled him back. See, I wish I had a trainer with me during these interactions.
You mean the trainer that you've been working with?
Yeah, well, her especially. Because I'm not sure what Thor's barks mean a lot of the time, so I always pull him back before anything happens, because obviously I don't want to endanger someone else's dog. Even though there was a fence between them, just for the record. But, I didn't want to risk it. So, I made some small talk with the lady, and, the lady, she gave Thor a treat. But I never let Thor get too close. But Eddie, you see Eddie coming up to the fence like he wanted to be Thor's friend. And I kept telling Thor, you could have so many friends if you would just stop barking whenever they came around. See? He sees a dog across the street right now. See? See, that could be a friend. That could be a friend.
That's a snack.
And so then, after the park, we went to PetSmart, and where we met some people. This older couple and this lady. As soon as you walk in the door, she's in line, and she's like, "Your dog is gorgeous."
This guy?
Yeah.
This guy?
Yep. So she came up, and Thor walked up to her, licked her hand, and he got some head scratches. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you can make human friends. You can make plenty of human friends. But
I don't like those furry friends, huh?
Yeah, he needs to learn to make some new dog friends. So, still making progress with Thor. All right, so that's what's going on with Thor this week. So, what do we have going on? We have some comic book reviews. We had probably half of our comic books last week were Batman stuff.
Yeah, that's like 2 out of the last 3 weeks.
And we had a giant-sized comic, the Book of Villains, that we're going to give our review. Did it make it into the top 3? We'll find out. And then we have our comic previews, and I have another movie-ism for you here in just a little bit.
You want Cheetos? You want Cheetos?
Yeah, that's what I got from him at PetSmart.
It sound like Cheetos, too.
Yep. He's got some crumbs on his face like the Cheetos, too.
Yep.
All right, kids, remember, there is nothing wrong with liking Imagine Dragons. Kate.
Yeah.
This is Back Issues. All right, comic lovers. So before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on your notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of these comic books, or give us some recommendations. All right, so we're going into our comic reviews, starting with our mentions. Before we get started, just to remind you how we do things around here. We grade each of these comics on a 5-shield rating system. We give them 2 scores each, one for writing and story, the other one for artwork. And then we combine those 4 scores together and give it an average overall score. All right, so our first mention this week is a special one.
Well, it's the Avengers number 50. It's actually the 750 total issues of the Avengers, if you count all the volumes together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't normally get the Avengers. I'm not too keen on the current volume and where they're heading with it. Not sure I like the Avengers headquarters being in the corpse of a Celestial. But, hey, whatever. So, we did get this one because it's a special issue, and I really like the cover.
Now, when you say it's like the 750 overall, it's not like when you say like New Avengers and Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
It's just the book's titled Avengers that they did a new volume each time.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so Avengers number 50, 750 overall. So it's a big one. It's a beast. And it is a collection of different stories by different writers and artists, and it's a mixed bag quality-wise. First, you have a story from Khazar. Is that it? Khazar. Then you have another one with the Orb. Is that his name?
The villain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a ragtag group of villains that are like from like different timelines. You have like a young Thanos, and you have a couple other guys running around, which is kind of interesting, but also weird. I would say the best story in here, and it's kind of odd, is a flashback one from Thor. And it's at the very end of the issue, and it's in the Middle Ages, and Thor comes across a young boy named Arthur. And Arthur is fighting, what are they called again?
The Brood.
The Brood.
From the X-Men storyline.
These nasty insect creatures.
Alien insects.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you call the Middle Ages, but this is the late 5th century is what it says at the beginning here. So maybe that's like pre-Middle Ages. Anyways, so a young lad named Arthur, armed with nothing but a bow and a dagger, is set to defend his village. And just when you think he's gonna bite it, a flying hammer comes come through for him, and he actually fights along with Thor to a degree. I mean, Arthur is obviously outclassed here, but
Well, who isn't?
well, I mean, he doesn't just curl up into a ball and let Thor do all the work. He shows his character, and he talks with Thor, and he says he's destined for great things. Thor says. So, Avengers number 750. Like I said,
50.
or 50. Like I said, a mixed bag of stuff. Ends up with 3.5 shields out of 5.
Oh.
Next up is actually an old one with a new run.
Right. Evil Ernie actually started back in 1991 with a company called Eternity Comics.
Mm-hmm.
And they put out 2 different volumes. And then Dynamite took over, and this is their 3rd volume. So Evil Ernie's had a pretty fair number of comics.
All right. Well, this is a new one for me because I never heard of Evil Ernie until last week. So it starts out with a kid named Ernie, who's a college kid, like 19 or 20 years old, and we come to the scene of a massacre where a biker gang has been ripped to pieces, and it shows that this kid Ernie is like right in the middle of it. So we go back to where it all began, and apparently he's a college kid with a heavy metal vibe to him.
No, he's actually the front man for a heavy metal band.
Right.
More than a vibe.
Okay. So imagine it's sort of a relationship like Eddie and the symbiote in the beginning, where like he's hearing this voice talking to him and he's not sure where it's coming from. And it sort of snowballs from there with the biker gang and what they get into. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good stuff here.
I didn't know if you'd like it or not, but if I decided we'd pick it up, I think we'll get the next one.
Evil Ernie number 1 with 3.5 shields out of 5.
Correct.
All right, next up.
Let me get a crane to pick this beast up. This is Gotham City Villains Anniversary Giant. It's a big 100-page book.
Yeah, another big one, just like the Avengers book. So, it's different stories by different artists and writers. The first story is a Penguin story that is written by Danny DeVito.
Go figure.
Yeah. So the story in the Penguin, I gotta tell you, it reads like Danny DeVito's fan fiction, which I guess it kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, just because you play a character doesn't mean you should write comic book stories about the character. Because I didn't like it.
I mean, based on what I'm reading here, I'd say Danny DeVito wanted to get with Michelle Pfeiffer, because that's kind of what he writes out in this story. And the story overall was kind of meh. That story, but there's other stories in here. Like I said, there's one about the Scarecrow, which it's all right. Then you have another story with Poison Ivy. didn't really care for that one as much. Then you have one about the Red Hood.
Now, I know it's not the Red Hood currently, fighting crime.
Right.
It's not even the Red Hood, the Joker, but I thought it was a pretty interesting story.
Yeah, that one not bad. And then you have one about the Mad Hatter. The interesting thing about the Mad Hatter was that in the hunt form, the GCPD's hunt form, Damien is taking point on the manhunt. So I thought that was interesting, him stepping into a leadership role.
I got a kick out of the police and him working together.
Mm-hmm. There's one against I'm not even sure you would call him a D-list villain, the Killer Moth, if you've ever heard of him.
Of course I've heard of it.
And
that's the story that Bernie Wrightson did years and years ago.
Oh, is it?
Where the Killer Moth and his gang were beating up Batman, and Bernie drew himself and some other creators jumping in to help him.
Okay.
Killer Moth's been around a long time, but yeah, he's definitely a B villain.
Just a B villain? I mean,
Maybe,
I had him all the way
maybe a
down to
C
D
villain.
status.
Yeah, maybe C.
Well, the thing about Killer Moth in this story, which is kind of interesting, is he kind of accepts his lot in life. He realizes that he's never going to be, on the same stage as the Joker and the Two-Face and all those guys.
But isn't that a good thing?
Yeah.
I mean, those guys get way too much attention.
And what he realizes is he can pick up the scraps from, other bigger villains. All he has to do is kind of follow Batman around, just kind of wait for him to do his thing, and he just picks up the pieces. And he actually, lives a fairly comfortable life. Not glamorous, but comfortable. So, points for self-realization for Killer Moth.
If he's working for a living, I guess.
Yep. So then you have another story by, or about Ra's al Ghul called Demon's Game. And I really enjoyed the artwork on this one. This is by an artist named Federici. And I don't know how long he's been in the game. I'm just now noticing his artwork. And it's really great stuff here. And Batman and Ra's have a kind of a heart-to-heart. They play a chess game together. And imagine that scene at the end of X-Men when Magneto and Xavier are playing chess together. And, they're all like, what do you hope to accomplish here? That, you can't do this forever and all that stuff. Sort of the same dynamic with these two. And then you have a sort of an origin story about Talia al Ghul. So, like I said, it was a mixed bag here. I guess the stories got progressively better as you went on. Like I said, didn't like Penguin, didn't like the Scarecrow stuff as much, and it just got a little bit better as you went on. So the giant size Gotham City Villains ends up with 3.5 shields out of 5. All right, so there's our mentions for this week. Now moving on to our top 3.
All right, and as usual, there was a 3-way tie. Every book in this group got 4 shields rounded up. Now, we were talking over how to break the tie. We played all kinds of games, done all kinds of sporting stuff, and EMoney goes digging around in the basement and pulls out 2 of his old Nerf guns. I haven't seen these Nerf guns in 20 years, maybe more. And so next thing you know, we're in a heated Nerf Gun Battle. Well, like a lot of things, it's all fun and games till somebody gets their eye poked out. And it was my eye that you about poked out, jackass. Man, so he won.
I just remember back in the old days when I first got into Nerf guns, I'm like hunkered down in one of the bedrooms waiting for you to come through the door, and I see somebody moving, so I start shooting. You're pushing Mom in front of you into the room.
All's fair in love and Nerf gun battles.
All right, so I believe I won. So
You did.
All right, so first our number 3 for this week.
All right, EMoney says the number 3 of the group is a new comic from DC, Justice League Incarnate, number 1 out of a 5-issue miniseries. And yeah, there's some different cats in this gang.
All right, so you have a ragtag group of superheroes from all across the multiverse who have formed this alliance to save the multiverse.
I don't know how ragtag they are. They're just different.
Yeah. You have the Thomas Wayne Batman, which some people may be familiar with from Flashpoint. You have a Aqua Woman, who is, I mean, she's not Mira, is that her name?
Not Mira, no.
She's not Mira. I mean, she looks like just a female Aquaman. Then you have Captain Carrot, which I don't know anything about, other than he's a rabbit. All I gotta say
about Captain Carrot is he normally hung around with the zoo crew.
So I take it was much more cartoony in his other versions.
Silly,
right?
and this is a serious version of the character, which is not so bad.
All right. So then you have a version of Miss Marvel and a female Flash. I don't know who this guy is. And also, finally, you have a black Superman who, in his universe, is also the president. So he's President Superman.
So it's Barack Obama, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
I've seen pictures of him wearing a Superman suit.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there is your Justice League Incarnate team, and they are fighting a battle against a very, very souped-up version of Darkseid.
Okay, it's another kind of a crisis story. There's all these Earths.
Mm-hmm.
I could have swore Infinite Crisis took all those Earths and put...
stuff happens. So... Darkseid is looking to, destroy everything, and the Justice League throw some kind of other Titan guy at him. I've forgotten his name now.
This ain't just a regular Darkseid.
Yeah, he's like
Uber
ultimate Darkseid. Yeah.
This imagine Thanos with the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. Tartarus is his name, and
never heard of him.
They have this big, all-out slugfest between the two of them, while the Justice League is just trying to, deploy their plan and get the grandmother box. You got mother box, and this is the grandmother box. And this guy Tartarus, he stole Thanos' line while he's fighting Darkseid. He says, "I am inevitable." Like he stole that.
Yeah.
You watched Avengers and stole that.
Plain old stole it.
All right. So if you're looking for cosmic, across the universe, multiverse type stuff, this is the book for you. Justice League Incarnate, number 1 of a 5-issue series. Our number 3 for this week ends up with 4 shields out of 5.
I think we'll get the next 4.
Yep. All right, next up.
All right. From Bad Idea, a company that I thought was done, but they don't seem to be done. Pyrate Queen, I think that's... Yeah, Pyrate Queen number 3.
All right. So, Pyrate Queen follows the adventures of Monday, a young woman who is a pirate queen. And in the beginning of this story, her husband was executed by an English gentleman after she made a deal for his life and he reneged on it.
And she slept with him.
Yep.
He was supposed to let her husband go.
Mm-hmm. Well, he killed her husband and left her for dead. And now he's being haunted by her, not her spirit because she's not dead, but her memory, I guess. And, he doesn't realize, or he soon will realize that she's coming after him.
Well, I think he's in denial. He doesn't want to believe she's still around.
Mm-hmm. So, Monday is going on the hunt for the gentleman and killing all of his allies. And I thought the artwork really, fits the tone of the story here. So, good stuff here. Good, high seas, swashbuckling adventures if you're into that. Pyrate Queen, number 3, our number 2 for this week. 4 shields out of 5.
All right, and number 1 on our hit parade per EMoney is Batman Fear State Omega, number 1.
All right. So, this one also has artwork from the guy I've been noticing, Federici. He tells the main story, and the story goes with flashbacks that happen throughout the story. But the main story is done by Federici, where it's in the aftermath of Fear State, where Scarecrow is being taken back to Arkham. And I love the beginning of this story, where he's being taken back to Arkham, and some of his henchmen attack the
transport vehicle.
And Scarecrow says something like, did you really think that my attack on this city was over? And the door opens, and he's expecting his henchman, but it's actually Bats. And Bats is like, yes, it is. So Batman throws Scarecrow in the Batmobile, and on their drive back to Arkham, he has a conversation with him. And I've always found some of the conversations he has with some of his enemies to be interesting. You know, I told you in this one over here, he has a conversation with Ra's al Ghul. He's had a lot of conversations with him. And him and Joker have had a few heart-to-hearts over the years.
I like how Ra's calls him the detective.
Yep. So now he's having one with Scarecrow here about a lot of his allies and what he thinks is going to happen in Gotham in the coming days. So you see what happens with Scarecrow, and you catch up with Clown Hunter, which is a character I've gotten into recently, and you find out what Ivy and Harley are doing, and also what the magistrate is getting up to since he's been arrested. So interesting stuff. Like we said, wrapping up Fear State and the magistrate storyline. Yeah, I mean, it was good, but the old man and I thought that it kind of wore out its welcome a little bit. So hopefully wrap up. And also, he's dropped off at the new Arkham building.
Arkham Tower.
Yeah. And
right in the middle of downtown Gotham.
Yeah, not sure how smart that is.
I don't think that's smart at all.
At least they had to walk or hitchhike or grab a vehicle or something to get back to Arkham. And the new head of Arkham is a Dr. Chase Meridia. Now, Chase Meridia was the character that Nicole Kidman played in Batman Forever. Now, I don't know, was that a original character from the movie and then they put it into the comic book, or
I'm
was
not
she
sure
already?
If the egg came before the chicken or vice versa, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, if you know about the origin of Dr. Chase Meridia, let me know about it in the comment section. All right. So, Batman Fear State Omega #1 are #1 for this week with 4 shields out of 5. All right. So, what is coming up this week?
All right. 2 of the last 3 weeks have been the week of the Bat,
Mm-hmm.
or the week of the Bat family. This time there's only 3 books that involve Batman. You've got Batman #118. You've got The Joker Presents a Puzzle Box.
Okay.
And you have the What If storyline, The Dark Knights of Steel.
Okay.
So still you got a pretty good representation of Batman. But the books I'm really looking forward to, those of you that are a little long in the tooth like the old man, remember when, I think it was Tales of Suspense, that was a split book with Captain America and Iron Man, wherein they split, and of course Iron Man started with #1 and Captain America got screwed and started with #100.
Okay.
But in between Tales of Suspense, the last issue, and the new books, they did a one-shot, which was Captain America and Iron Man. I think Comic Book World has a copy of that right now. I might go get it. But at any rate, there's a new Captain America and Iron Man #1 coming out this week. So, curious to see what that's all about. Daredevil's got a new storyline coming out.
Okay.
A new book called Devil's Reign.
I guess they wrapped up the previous story where he was in jail.
Yeah,
so.
Seemed to wrap it up. He's definitely out of jail now. And I already mentioned The Dark Knights of Steel. Crossover #10 from Image comes out.
Okay.
And a period piece that you and I like. It's a period piece horror story. Two Moons comes out.
All right, yeah.
And that one's made the top 3 quite a few times.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there's our picks for this week. Pick them up at your local comic book shop along with all of these. All right, so we're heading back upstairs, and I believe I have a new Movie-ism this week.
Now, you probably notice the old man smiling whenever he announces a Movie-ism. So if you're new to the channel, you don't realize that when he doesn't have a Movie-ism, we do a Stump the Old Man section. And I'd rather do the Movie-isms, to be honest. The old man will like getting stumped.
All right, well,
anyway.
I got one. All right, let's head back up into the garage with Thor. All right, comic lovers, back out here in the garage with Thor, and we have an all-new Movie-ism, don't we, boy? Don't we, boy? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yeah. All right, so this is one of the most frustrating movie-isms I've ever recorded. This is the Dallas. Yeah. This is what happens in a movie that usually involves time travel or a dream, that by the end of it, time gets reversed and 90% of what you just saw didn't happen or even matters. Now, why do we call it a Dallas? Well, for all you youngins out there, this is because of the 9th season of Dallas. So
I was there for that.
There was a character called Bobby, played by Patrick Duffy, and in the previous season, at the end of the previous season, I believe, he is in a car crash and he dies. So then the 9th season goes on, and I guess Patrick Duffy wanted to do movies or move on to other stuff.
He was done with Dallas.
Yeah. So by the end of the 9th season, I guess he changed his mind. So at the end of the season, the woman, I forgot her name, she wakes up and she looks like she just got out of a dream, and she goes into the bathroom and she opens up the shower curtain and there's Bobby. He's alive. And she just had this she said she had this most horrible dream, and she describes all of the major events from season 9. So everything you just saw in season 9, not just one episode, but the entire season, none of it happened.
None of it.
Because Patrick Duffy changed his mind about leaving Dallas. So that's what happened with Dallas, and there have been plenty of movies who have done the same thing, where most of the movie ended up being a dream or time gets reversed. Examples: Jumanji. Most of the film involving the kids in the 90s, by the time they finish the game, time gets reversed, and the kids aren't even born yet. They're back to the 1950s, I believe. So that's what happened in this one. Next up, even though it's one of my favorite movies, I get frustrated with the ending, the movie Next with Nicolas Cage. He finally is able to extend his premonitions beyond 2 minutes and sees a vision days in advance. And so, everything you just saw up until he gets with Jessica Biel didn't happen.
I made a mistake.
What?
I made a mistake. It's happening.
When?
Now!
Another movie, Shrek Forever After. He makes a wish with Rumpelstiltskin, and then he manages to reverse it, and everything he saw, it doesn't happen, and it's like It's a Wonderful Life, which is another Dallas, by the way. And everything that Shrek did in the 4th one, he gets taken all the way back to the beginning. Just now, the old man mentioned another one that I forgot about, the Bob Newhart Show.
I don't remember what the actual title of one of his many shows was, but...
Well, bottom line is, Bob Newhart, he did 2 shows, 2 sitcoms. Mm-hmm. By the end of the 2nd one, they say that he woke up from a dream, and everything that happened in the 2nd show was all a dream at the end of the 1st one that he did, because he wakes up with his old sitcom wife, right?
Yep.
So the whole show, not just the season, was a Dallas there.
Multiple seasons of the show where he owned the inn was all a Dallas.
Yeah. All right, so, and I could go, I got 11 examples here. So here are, I'm going to write them all down. Here are the other examples of the Dallas right here. All right, so there is this week's Movie-ism. Now, some announcements that let you know. The reaction video scheduled for later today, it's going to be solo with just this guy, because the old man is going on vacation. So he's going to be out for our reaction video today. Yeah, this is pre-recorded in case you didn't know. So yeah. So he's gonna be gone for a few days. So no reaction video for the old man. This guy still doing one. I will try to keep the commentary going as best I can. All right, so I believe that about does it. Actually, you know what? I wanted to have a way of ending the show and just seeing how this little experiment goes. We have our own reaction videos. I thought I would try to get a reaction out of Thor and see what happens here. So all these internet challenges that they've been doing on TikTok and Instagram. One of them is bark at your dog. So
Wait a minute, let him get done eating his Cheetos.
all right, so we're gonna see what happens here. So we'll see you guys next time. Excelsior.
If Thor eats him, don't worry, I'll pick up the reins next week.
All right.
Bark at your dog.
Well, get him. There you go, get him.